Alright, welcome back to another Art Time video. We're picking up where we last left off with this drawing right here. I have improved upon it a bit more since then. I had some more damage, some shrapnel, stuff like that. And we did the background, or at least the outline of the background. So, as per usual, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Now then, let's go on ahead and do the thing that of which we need to do, which is essentially just color this in, finish the drawing, stuff like that. So yes, I have a general idea of what I want to do with most of these buildings here. The buildings will most likely consist of their usual color because of the fact that, we do nighttime differently than they do it in the show. I guess the best way to really describe it is the fact that we kind of just have an overlay effect that does most of the things that we need to do in that department. So we're going to have to try our best trying to figure out what kind of color these buildings are going to consist of, or we could just go about doing it our own way instead. Although, technically speaking, hold on, I do have the swatch for that. No, not here, go to fan art. Here it is, cityscape, let's see. Yeah, I can add the debris or debris here. And, yeah, we just got a bunch of different buildings we utilize here. I'll add this to the list, actually. So, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So, yes, that's not really much I can really talk about right now. Got a cat who's still scratching shit, trying to distract me. Other than that, I don't know. Not really too much to talk about. We're just going to draw, Just try to, focus on drawing, get some stuff here and there done with. I could probably be the interior of the building or something. But, yeah. I think what I'm going to do next after this, most likely tomorrow, is start working on Adventurous Army Episode 3. Let's see. Are you? Yeah, you're going to be about that. I have a general idea on what I want to do with that episode. Just can't really say it here because I don't want to spoil it for those. Well, spoil it. Technically speaking, yes, spoil it. Also, don't really want to talk about it when it comes to YouTube. All the people on Patreon over there has to pay $10. I ain't going to tell it to you for free. Oh, Christ, I wish this freaking crap would stop. It's like after you eat a big meal, you can't just yawn like you want to, or something, I don't know. Then working for a freaking hours here. Try to bring my damn head back to see if that helps, but nope. There we go. Okay. So, in the original scene of this particular part of the anime, everything was relatively blue, so to speak. We got something there. But everything here was pretty much blue. It's like the shading of the entire night sky is taking over everything with blue look. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's essentially what is the case here. Whoops. 4C. There we go. And because of the way we draw, the way we have all the effects and stuff overhead, by the by, that's the tub that is no longer in use, or had no use, because Luna saved Ragdoll from trauma. Ragdoll's still alive, thankfully, but trauma, no more. What are you looking at? Oops. Also I gotta double check to make sure I got rid of the hotkeys. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Just in case I want to accidentally end the video halfway through for no reason. Although it's not like we have too much to talk about. So, yeah. This is the tub, and it's now destroyed. No more will it get use. Unless somebody else knows how to steal people's quirks from that particular bullshit means. And I'm gonna call bullshit on it because that irritates me. What I've seen. As much as I've seen this one particular scene from this here show that I told you I've been watching. That I've been watching. Wait, don't cat. Full Metal Alchemist, of course, is what I'm talking about. Although, part of me is thinking that this is false, a red herring, kind of. You think it's like it's trying to mislead you or something, you know? I don't think that's actually Lady Dimitrescu. Cue laughed. But no, I have some intuition here. I feel like that scene is false, if you know what I'm talking about. Whoops. What was it again? We just watched episode 17. I feel like they're just like trying to make it seem as though, because obviously you could just take this thing off and then just get this random thing and then put this thing on and then boom, the ruse is set. Obviously it would make sense for the ruse is set because the eyes and ears everywhere kind of deal, you know. Theorizing. Although it's been a while, I have no knowledge nor recollection of the show, except for a few instant parts. I didn't even remember this particular moment, and I feel like there was more to that one particular character than was shown to us at the moment. I'm trying not to spoil it, even though it's as simple as saying spoilers, but yeah, whatever. Well, even so, well, assuming she's of age, I'm actually gonna. You already know. What was her name again? I've forgotten. Oops. No. No. Lou. No? No. Huh? You sure you think? I don't know. We'll see. Oh. Right. That name. You're not showing me it. Well, there's Reddit. Okay, cool, great, fantastic. So if it is true, you know what that means. We got Luna over here, alongside taking Envy and frickin' Lust out of commission. Most likely those two, of course, because, you know, Lust, obviously, I've said this before in the past, I don't need to say it again. But yes, we always got Luna. Luna is there to allow for us to alter the course of history in a different timeline and changing it from the original. I mean, that's already about to occur. But seriously, I really don't think that what we saw in that particular scene is actually true. Because it just feels like it would be somewhat out of character, you know? Because I feel like they'd be smarter, right? You would think that there'd be some intelligence. You would think he'd see through the ruse, right? Am I correct? He surely sees through it, right? Surely he's not being tricked. It's obviously, you could tell, kind of, from that one scene, seems way out of character. Definitely something's up. Definitely nothing bad's happening, and if something bad's happening, we got Luna. Because like I said before, I have the power. I've done it with spoilers for Attack on Titan, Sasha, and I can do it with this particular character, and maybe a few other characters in the future. Because this feels like one of those kinds of shows that's just, does the stupid every now and again, and angers that which is me and my, my ability to go on ahead and just alter the course of it. You know what I mean, right? Like what we're doing right here. Even without that, we still have Kane Ratinindu. Yes, he could destroy the ever-living shit out of... What was it, only like 3 left after Lust and Envy are taken out? Well, we know there's Gluttony. Apparently, Sloth was already mentioned. But, yes, we could probably have Kane Ratinindu beat the ever-living shit out of those 2 remaining, and the third one, which I am theorizing to be the guy which is there and shown consuming the liquids. You know the liquids, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Yes. I have the power. Question is, when can I use it? I don't know. I just don't know. What? No, you fool. Needless to say, Luna would definitely go on ahead and mess with that universe as well. Obviously, you know what she's like. You know what Luna's like. Constantly butting in on other universes' business, despite her not, being permitted to, despite the fact that, technically speaking, there is no permission needed. And it's not like there's any beings out there that can stop her. For one thing, that my timeline and my theory with timelines is alternate timelines are created when the original is messed up. I think I've said this before in the past, but I'll say it again just to get my point across. When you mess with the flow of time, it does not change the original timeline. No. It does not make any sense. For this timeline had to have happened. And it already had happened. So, what you would be doing instead, if you were to mess with the time in the past, if you were to mess with the past, what you'd be doing is be creating another alternate universe. An alteration made simply by you doing stuff in the past. And it doesn't just, stem from that being the case here. Like of you messing with things. No, just you simply going back into the past will create the alternate timeline. Even if you do nothing. Even if nothing was affected, there will be 2 timelines created. One made because you went in there, but those 2 timelines still share the same setup, Now, of course, keep in mind, my theory as to how those timeline guys in movies keep screwing things up and going to the timeline where they're affected, the universe and all that stuff, is because they just did not know how to go back to their original timeline. I would say that, heading back would cause you to go into the future of that timeline. Although, future stuff, I guess technically speaking, that would still create an alternate timeline of you going into the future. The past wouldn't matter. It just matters on what particular timeline you're going back and at what point you can see that particular version of yourself. When it comes to future stuff, it's a little bit more easier to get around because, well, more likely than not, you won't see yourself within that area. You can go about and do it, but not really going to do anything different. When they say the whole, matter cannot exist within each other, I feel like that's most likely a case of you can't have an object phase into something. Like this mouse, I can't phase through it. As in, I cannot have my atoms exist within this mouse's atoms. See what I'm saying? The whole thing about, you seeing yourself in the past or future, I guess it depends, really. That would be interesting, though, to say the least. I guess I would just come and create, that wouldn't really change up anything. If you seek to see yourself in the future, you're going to see yourself while you're in the future. If you decided that, yes, this is a time that I am here, I'll make note of this time, and I shall go to here to see myself. And then you see yourself. If you don't see yourself, then you were never really going to be committing to it in the first place. Of course. Depending on the timeline you go back to, and the timeline you choose to go to, you might not see yourself in general. I don't know where I'm going with this. Listen, the point is, going back in the past to change some things up isn't going to make the timeline any different. It's going to create an alternate timeline. And heading back to that timeline will ensure that you are going to be in the future of the changes you've made instead of the changes that you didn't make. See what I'm saying here? So just, there's another better way to explain it. Here's timeline, your original time. We'll call it timeline A. When you go back to the when you go back to the past of timeline A, you, my friend, are immediately sent to timeline B. Timeline B just takes into account that you time traveled into that instant, that you exist within this particular instance because you time traveled there. In timeline A, you're not there. You were never there. But timeline B, you are there. I gotta figure out a better way to draw clouds. These have looked good for a bit, but I'm trying to figure out if there's a better way I can go about doing this. Anyways, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, yep, it's doing nothing again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, do this. So yes, if you go to timeline B, you go on ahead and, do some things that changes the future drastically, and you just decide to go back into the future. Now, one of two things could happen. The scientists who created the machine were able to take into consideration, the certain theory, and you were sent back to timeline A. Or, like most movies seem to want to frickin' portray, they're sent into the future of timeline B. Actually, here's a good way to go about, explaining as to how that would be the case. Theory explanation is like coming up with, an explanation of what could potentially be a reason, but also would be a good way to, if we ever do time travel, keep that particular type of thought in mind. Not like any scientists are going to be watching this video 10, 20 years into the future. But I digress. When you head back to timeline B, you've only designed the machine to take you back into the future. So, if you're in timeline B, you're going to be going into the future of the timeline that you're in. See what I mean? So unless you have some coordinates or some, little bits and numbers and whatever the hell we want to call our universe, unless we have that knowledge readily available to us, I'm afraid, my friend, you shall be sent back into the future of timeline B, not your timeline. No matter what. Meaning, you are effectively dead. What if somebody's already did time travel, right? What if somebody already did time travel? But because of the fact that they went back to timeline B, everybody thought that that person just spontaneously combusted. They went back into the past, changed some things up. Even if they didn't change anything up in the future, they still went back to a different timeline than they were supposed to be going to originally. If they didn't do anything, then basically they're living out their lives just the same as it is. But timeline A, everyone presumes that they are dead because they died in the travel of the time thing, Interesting to think about, right? Oh, I'll just bring this up. But, yeah. That's something to think about when it comes to time travel. And we went on to this conversation by talking about alternate timelines and trying to say this one particular character who may or may not be dead. Look, all I'm saying is that Luna has nothing to really worry about in terms of some time police coming here. Because if the time police freaking actually has any idea what time is supposed to be, they would know that Luna's involvement isn't going to mess anything up because it's made a new alternate timeline, and the original can never be altered, which sucks because that means that we can't have Luna here unless we are the alternate timeline. So yes, thank you for coming to my time travel talk. I don't know. I'm mad. I'm mad if it's true. I'll be impressed if it isn't. Seriously. Why you gotta do this, man? We're not even halfway through the series. We're not even halfway done with it. You friggin'... Yeah, and you know what? We definitely gonna friggin' punish Envy over here, I swear. Why do I get the funny feeling that guy who made... I mean, maybe he's actually real, but why do I get the funny feeling that was actually Envy in disguise who did the stupid crap? He's gonna get punished. We're gonna have Luna punish him real greatly. Trust me on that one. This is gonna be the first time you're gonna see some femboy stuff in my freaking... Oh, God. I don't know, man. It's still strange. If I am bisexual, I'm heavily leaning towards women, but at the same time, well, let's be honest here. Would y'all... would y'all... I don't even know why I'm joking. I mean, yes, joke about it because we kind of did some funny jokes with Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubbles and the fact that every single weird story or Bedrock Tales involves them being gay. But that's different. Those are two manly men. This is a trap. Technically speaking, they don't have a gender according to the wiki. But at the same time, they are called he, so... Can't really escape that. Not like what we can with Pito, who is, doesn't have any gender. Manga has a flat chest and presumed to be a guy. But the anime has a considerable bust and a feminine voice, the voice actor is a woman. So it's pretty easy to go past that with Pito and just go by calling them they, because the fact that they probably are smooth as a Barbie doll down there. Although we're not really focusing on that department, we're focusing on their 4 digits down below, or I don't know if canonically what it would be, but I think 4 would make sense. If you've got your hands on 3 fingers and a thumb, kind of ever going by cartoon logics and Western cartoons, obviously, then Pito would have 4 toes. But, yes, we will indeed not only just punish Envy, but Luna as well, and have Kane Raitaningu kill Gluttony, and he will do it. He will, and he will also kill Sloth, and whoever, I have a feeling I know who that is, who's in charge of all of it. Oh, and also don't forget the Fuhrer, since, he's the sole cause for this bullshittery. So we're definitely going to have Kane Ryan, unless he has to die in the series, right? I feel like this is the kind of series where the villains will die in the end. It has to be, right? So if they're going to die, well, we might as well just take those two out of the universe and just have Luna keep them within that prison for the rest of their... Well, I don't know if they have a time. They definitely do have a time span, right? So yes, they'll be there for the rest of their lives. And which is fine, because they're evil. I do declare. That is essentially the definition of evil, right? I mean, the 7 deadly sins, right? That is evil, right? And, Luna does like also putting other villains and villainesses in their place, so, and also we do already know that Luna goes after both genders because of the fact that we've talked about it before in the first episode of My Luna Academia with, that, which I've said before that I won't draw. Those won't, but this one will. Maybe. At some point in the future. I don't know when. We'll see what happens. We got a whole bunch of other stuff in mind for right now. I got 3 series, actually, in the fan art departments that I gotta keep on building upon. And some standalones that I also want to get done with as well that I've been holding off on for so damn long. That one with Lila test drawing we've been wanting to do for so long, but, a lot of stuff was in between. A lot of other stuff was kind of like preventing us from doing so. Now that we're in a nice, decent place, we were able to get it done with. Which is great. So I feel like I could have done a little bit better with Miss X and Miss C. But if I do a second one, with most likely that cowgirl from that one episode, I do vaguely remember that episode. Only after I have looked up the characters and saw that particular person did I remember. Oh, wait, crap. Are you... crap? And you're also crap. Well, you know what? That's fine. I can do this instead. There we got cut. And there. You were supposed to go the other way, you fool. BS. Anywho's and wits, yeah, that's how we're feeling right now. Irritation and potential revenge at some point when the time comes. A lot of trickery and nonsensery going around here. That's another thing. These characters are kind of like only going off of trickery and cheap shots. I mean, sure, Lust got those giant-ass freaking nails that goes the size of freaking Seraph's sword over here, even further than that. Or maybe even that one sword from Bleach, but I can't remember who that character was. Was it Aizen? I don't think it was Aizen. Was it? Was his name Aizen? Am I remembering correctly? Apparently, I don't even... Well, okay, I'm not gonna, talk about that because I have very little to no recollection. Actually, let me see something for a second. Do we have Bleach on HBO Max? Probably not going to watch that because that's 100 episodes. No, we got Scooby-Doo Beach, bestie, even though there's no Bleach in there. That is Young Justice, apparently. Wait, are you just showing me all the episodes? What the hell? Okay, well, no Bleach. Unfortunately. But, fine, that's fine. Not much we can really do about that now, is there? Anywho's and wits. Am I missing something here? No, that's how that is. Some of it has a rim, some of it does not. I do gotta say, though, I'm gonna like this particular series in particular. Just to have somebody who is capable of beating the ever-living crap out of basically anyone we need to get the ever-living crap beaten out of is always good. Kane Raitenengu. Strong as hell. has a specific kind of plot armor that somehow manages to trump everyone else's plot armor. A tyrannical madman on search of power, trying to locate his targets to kill, and then allowing for him to go to a new universe to repeat the process all over again. Kane Raiteninku is a very dangerous man, who is strong, so strong that he can even potentially stand up against Saitama. He is not someone to be messed with. While he does not look too complex design, don't let his appearance fool you. Crap. Don't let his appearance fool you. He will destroy you and will barely take a scratch. People theorize that he's acquired that power of a god, the power of that of a god. I don't know how the hell to say that sentence. He's acquired the powers of that of a god. Is that right? He's got godlike powers. And the thing is, he doesn't brag it. The only thing going through his mind is kill, death, destroy everyone and everything he sees. But, most of all, acquire more power. Even if he is the most powerful creation known to man now, probably not. I think that still resides in the mysterious entity than the mysterious woman. He's acquired such powers that he could even rival that of the mysterious beings. I don't know if I want to call them that. Needless to say, he's out there on an agenda. Thankfully, though, it seems as though that he's unable to affect the original timeline. The alteration, however, well, they have to deal with that now, don't they? They do have to deal with that. It's too bad, really. You'd think mayhaps they'd have some chance. Well, thankfully, though, Kane's out on an objective. And this particular universe is safe. Or at least, this instance. All for One is dead. Luna doesn't have to worry about protecting Ragdoll anymore and having her repay her debt for having Luna, save her from a League of Villains trying to steal her quirk and all that stuff. Even though she doesn't really have to worry about that, because I have a fungalicious feeling Ragdoll's going to willingly want to play with Luna a bunch. Then we have, potentially a whole bunch of stuff happening later seasons that is not going to happen in this particular timeline. I've said this before. I will say this, though. It is going to be interesting to see how the hell things are going to be changed in this alternate timeline. See, in this particular timeline, a lot's changed. Oh, crap. Anyways, in this particular timeline, a lot's changed. Luna has made herself known. She prevented Pixie Bog from getting a concussion and saved Ragdoll from a traumatic experience and allowing her to keep her quirk, obviously. That's all the changes she's made so far, as well as have the 3 military mechs help out the heroes, preventing Bakugo from being kidnapped by the League of Villains, as well as helping Midoriya with beating every living crap, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't need to try to list it again. And now this continuation, same alternate timeline, is as if this was already in the making. This moment was already in the making. Well, it would make sense. I think I've already said this before, but the mysterious woman has noticed Kane Raitenenku's power. She is the one who has given Kane Raitenenku this particular device that allows for him to be able to go to other universes, kill people in that universe, and then progress to the next universe after he's killed his targets. And I will say this regardless, because I think there's still going to be more with that. I think we're going to be talking about that more at some point, but I feel like that's good to know to those who are actually going to come and watch these particular videos. Yes. It would make sense if the mysterious woman, already had this universe plan. Then that would mean that Kane Rataningu would be in the universe that the mysterious woman was already planning on potentially going to. Of course, now those plans have changed. For Luna is there. She was planning on doing stuff in this universe. Then she saw Luna and thought, well, looks like I don't have to worry about anything here. But then she thought, maybe I could have Kane Rataningu kill All for One. Maybe help out the Luna's quest or something. It would make sense, though. It would make sense as to why a mysterious woman is trying to, prevent Kane Rataningu from just going full-on Rambo, even though he usually never does that, unless, given a reason. And now, because of where Luna's at, a major villain is dead. All Might over here has one less thing to worry about, and he doesn't go into retirement. Though, I'm not entirely too sure what's gonna happen to the League of Villains. As it stands right now, with All for One basically in prison, all of the League of Villains are basically just been on their own, doing their thing and trying to make do with what they've got. And they've managed to do it successfully. If the end of Season 5 is anything to go by. So I don't think that part will change too much. They might be more determined to try to keep up with All for One's ideologies. Although I have a funkalicious feeling Luna will prevent that. I don't know how old all the characters are. I know Toga is 17. There's a good chance that Shigaraki is probably also 17, but he could also very well be in his early 20s. I don't know about Dobby. I think Twice is definitely in his mid-30s, but at the same time, I don't know about that one. Magma's definitely going to, spoilers, going to be dead throughout that. Luna's main focus really was on the heroes, because we barely have any villains, villainesses, that's the word I'm looking for, that are over the age of 8, that are 18 or older. Though, of course, the series is still going on. At some point, Toga's going to turn 18, and then Luna will have no issue going after her. Of course, I also had a funny idea to where Luna tries to convince Toga to, try to be a hero for a day. She joins Class 1A, and she gets to hang out with Ochaku and tries to get their mind changed. It's mostly out of fear, though, because Luna will threaten that on her 18th birthday that she will come, and all the bad deeds that she'd done will be paid in full. But of course, that would be like, probably less than a year, actually. Who knows how long. But I guess that would depend on what happens with the League of Villains at the end. Part of me also kind of want to see Toga, become good. Like the Harley Quinn kind of style over here. But that's for, wait a minute. Shit. Okay, I forgot this is supposed to be a corner piece, right? Okay, cool, great, fantastic, corner piece. I don't know if that's the color, actually. What was the color? Was it this one? Oh, don't forget, this is also shaded in, so there's no way to know 100% for a fact. I forgot about that tidbit. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We'll do this then. Don't have to change any layers. We just do it on the same layer, but make sure that that's not deleted. I almost did this stupid again, didn't I? Keep on happening now, isn't it? Oh, whatever. Easy fix. Just gotta not do any more adjustments to it once it's done. There we go. Okay, cool. I think I can tell you all who's the next victim on Luna's list. After, the fourth episode and whatever Luna has planned in a normal drawing aspect. The next, I think I told you this before, the next girl on the list is going to be Miss Joke. Because I believe Miss Joke takes place after this particular scene. Because they are all in the dorm at this point, and they're about ready to get their licenses, and at that point, that's where Karen shows up, and that's where Miss Joke comes to play. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna do this. No, wait. 70. No, wait, no, right, it's gotta be 30, not 70. There we go. Okay. The texture is done, for the most part. There are some shading instances that I need to do. I want to put in some smoke as well. And I also gotta add in some shadows and stuff. We'll get to that in a moment. We're doing it right now. I'm talking about the other stuff in a moment. This stuff right here, the shading of these portions here. Okay. Alright. Yep, 6BA because we screwed up here, even though I think that's that's a different one that was being used. Alright, smoke. Are you smoking yet? Okay, here we go. I'll go behind the fire. Get some smoke. I might try to have some reds in here as well, alongside the blues. Oops. Kinda makes sense when you think about it. Fire, night sky. Unless it's foggy. Although we could probably have some fog and dust like so. Yeah, actually, yes, we could do that. Some fog and dust settle around the place a bit. And get rid of some of the smoke there so we can see some of the fire. And this is pretty brutal too. Just going about villain on villain violence. I don't know if the media would be happier because there's less villain, or scared because this is a far cry from what this guy probably would do. I mean, let's be honest, if Cain Rice and Anchor had his way, he'd turn his entire planet into metal and kill everyone who's trying to stop him. So let's be thankful that he's not doing that. In this alteration, at least. Because I'd rather not see my favorite characters suffer from the hands of someone as treacherous as this fool here. Sure, don't get me wrong, he is great for killing the scum of the earth, but he's also going after heroes as well as villains. There's no limitations. He'll go after anybody who is going to get in the way of him doing his thing. Yeah, most of the area is on fire. You can see some of the red there. Some of the red there. Most of it's like, that. Right, like so. Right. Smoke. In the back over here. Smoke. Just so we know that there's stuff back here. There we go. The scene I want to have play out. There'll be some reds here to make up for the red glows of all that stuff. But before we do anything, of course, I need some dust settling down on the environment. What color would the dust be, you may ask? Would it be darker? Or is this good? Dust and kind of a fog look, right? A foggy look, kind of. Yes, right, cat? Indeed. Don't the cat. She is asleep and is being calm right now. Okay, where is it? Debris. Debris 1B. Now here's Dust 1B as well. Also, don't forget about the whole fog instance. That's also going to be needed for this department. Yeah. When the dust settles and all's said and done, the world loses out on a very terrible man. Thankfully, this one terrible man who replaced that one terrible man didn't stick around to fully do anything with this universe. Still, though, The fear is there, in the back of everyone's mind. This man, Cain Ratanengu, could easily come back at any moment and just slaughter everyone and everything. But seems like something might be stopping him, so they should consider themselves lucky that this is not a threat they have to worry about. Oh wait, what are you doing, you fool? 250. I can barely even see the shadow in place here. I will say this, though. It does look badass. And this guy does kind of deserve it. I only ever seen so much as what Season 5 had to offer. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more that this guy did that, is well deserved. Death. Although slow and painful death would be better. But then again, I'm more of a chaotic... Would I be chaotic neutral? There are some goods, and then there are some bad. I'd probably be somewhere in the middle. But who knows? Okay. Alright. Now I gotta do the fog. Oh, no, wait, right. How could I forget? This is actually Shadow 1C, right. I forgot about the fact that I didn't do the shadows on the characters here. How did I forget? That's what I want to know. There was no reason for me to forget, Since this is basically just the same thing, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Okay, even though I don't need to grab that. Let me do this just in case something still happens. Okay. We're not going to the fog yet, actually. There's a certain effect that I want to add. Well, I guess we could still do the fog, but don't do the lighting yet. There's a certain effect that I want to add to Cain Ratanengu, who is going to have a bunch of lightning kind of spewing from his arms and even this part of his arm as well. Man, we'll talk about some dang old badass, man. Imagine trying to go up against someone as powerful as this. Well, you know his power if you see him killing All for One. But look, I don't remember this guy's name. I'm just referring to him as All for One. I'll probably just go on ahead and into the thing and figure out what his actual name is while I'm making the story. His name is shown before, right? I'm pretty sure it is, right? Ah, yes, the dark shadow around his face. To show that this is his final moments. Not enough power to be able to defeat Cain Ratanengu. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what kind of power level All for One has. Ugh. But if he was able to die to someone like Cain Ratanengu, well, I guess it depends. What is his power? It definitely does seem as though he possesses a lot of power. All Might also possesses a lot of power. There's really no easy way to tell where the power level stands, Unless we get like a good... Actually, let me check. What would All for One's power level be? Town level striking. RV armor tension, blah blah. Town level striking. Casually blasted all my through multiple city blocks with one hand. So he definitely is powerful. Combining a whole bunch of quirks to create a devastating, powerful one. I don't think he's planet-destroying power. It is All for One planet destroy. It's All for One a planet destroyer. Let's see. Okay. You're giving me All Might instead, but theoretically, yes. Apparently, All Might can destroy a planet if he wanted to. No, all phone had fun. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool, great, fantastic. So we know now for a fact that Kane Raichenengu has reached planet-destroying levels. One Punch Man? Anyone versus One Punch Man? See, the thing is, we haven't gotten too far into One Punch Man yet to really understand where the hell Saitama's strength resides. It seems like nobody in his universe is going to be able to beat him. It seems like the entirety of One Punch Man consists of the other heroes and their struggles, while when all is said and done and nobody's able to actually do anything to win against a certain villain or foe, they send Saitama in to defeat that person with one punch, and then boom. That's it. That's all there is to it. The thing is, though, I don't know if that's considered meme power. Would that be considered meme power? Does One Punch Man have meme power? Does Saitama have the same meme power Shaggy does, and Shrek and all the other characters who are presumed to be all-powerful? No clue. No clue whatsoever. I'd say if you have the, imagination, have the drawing skills, and the ability to be able to at least somewhat explain what is happening in the story, you could very easily make somebody the most strongest character in the universe, in all the known universes. But it also has to go off of a reasoning. Meme power alone can't sustain one's power. If a reason is too strong, then potentially meme power might get destroyed. Theoretically, if the mysterious entity is the one who created the curses, which I think is theorized, then it would make sense that someone like Kane Raitaningu would also possess the same, if not equal level of power as the mysterious entity. We've talked about the mysterious entity before. It's a being who has power unrivaled by any being in all known universes, because it takes the power of all things who've killed, all monsters, all murderers. In every single universe, something is dying in one way or another. This is the reason why it's, theorized that the mysterious entity is considered to be the most powerful being of all the known universes. Consider it the embodiment of literal bloodlust, murder, gore, grotesque, macabre, all of the words you can think of. If Kane Raitaningu possesses some level of power thanks to that entity's curse, if the entity is the one who made the curse, assuming, then it would make sense that he also possesses the ability to be able to somewhat match his power, but not enough to defeat someone like the Mysterious Woman. The Mysterious Woman, we all know, is pretty freaking strong. Right, I'm going to do some, I guess, maybe not that dark. Let's see, some teal? No, some purple? No, how about this? Nah, blue? I guess blue could work. Hard to say 100% for a fact. Most of everything here is lost in the dust. Oh, wait, were you supposed to be behind that? Whoops, let me delete that instead. This should be fog 1D. 1D, yeah. Green? Nah. Yeah, I think I don't know what exactly I have to do for this area. Maybe some dark now? Some dark, maybe delete this so the fire is shown. Or we're probably going to have... Okay, hold on, you fool. You idiot. You moron. Well, we've We've almost gotten this done with. There's still a little bit more left. I don't know how much longer we have left, though. Okay, yeah, it would make sense. Death and destruction. The sky would still be relatively, that color. Bluish, with some reds here and there. Okay. First things first. Electric. I might have to go to Cane Rectangle swatch. I think I have an electricity color there that I want. Maybe. Is this... Yeah, that's our color. Okay. Cane. Did I have your electricity shown? And if not, I can have it shown now. Okay, cool. We can just do this now then. Okay. Alright. Now, keep in mind, this man is like half machine at this point. I want to try to make the electricity a bit bigger. Oops. But don't scatter it too much. Make it go in a bit. Well, still keep the scatter a little bit high. Maybe not that condensed. It's going to be a bit tricky. Yeah, we gotta try to do this, but make it look good instead of just having a whole bunch of electricity here and there. What if I rotate this a bit? Is this... Yeah, it's a 50% angle jitter, so it's going to look closely to... Okay, unless we get more of those there. Oops. There's going to be some electricity glow as well. Right, crap. Go to the arm, and let's go and do electric again. Underneath the blood, come on. There we go. A little bit here. Would the blood be getting cooked right now? I don't know. Strange question to ask. Would the blood be getting cooked right now? The only songs I can think of for a scene that will be this badass is Metal Gear Rising songs. Oh, whoops. Oh, wait, right. Wait, this is actually underneath all for one. We can actually look it up here. All for One's name. Is it revealed? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, only part. Okay, so we don't know his full name. Got it. Okay, cool, great. We'll just refer to him as that then. Cool. So he doesn't have a name. Alright, cool, great. He's, well, in this universe, he's dead either way. In his alteration, he'd be dead. You can't come back from this. And part of me wonders if they would just cremate the body. Wait, no, not that big. Not that big. Let's do 150. Okay. We still need a significant amount of glow, though. Don't forget. Okay, go to the damn thing. There it is. Should try to put some unique electric lines here. Try to, like, make this less samey, you know? You know? Oh, I forgot about this side. That's fine. And I can do a little bit here as well. Electricity. Is this? Okay, this is it, I think. Yeah, that's it. Alright, I'm going to add this electric glow. Save that to Kane's swatch here, just because. There we go. And now for the actual electric glow, which is probably going to be part this and another thing. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I can have this underneath here. overlay. But is this the overlay we want? Yeah, look at this. It's going to be a nice, like, glow kind of going off of him. Some of the glow coming off of that one area. Oh, I guess that is an issue now, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to need to put this in all night swatch for a quick second. Bring that down, bring this up. There we go. Underneath the electricity. Underneath the electricity. Yeah, just we can do that. Okay. Alright. Okay, now we can have an electric glow down here. Wait, no. Area. Right here. Yes, right here. Right on the refrigerator. Electric glow. That way we get to see it every morning. Alright. Okay, there's another thing I wanted to do here. Electric area. Doesn't really matter. This. Like an electric kind of aura, so to speak. We'll have the same thing here above this electric area. Some more like electrical aura, like I said before, but it doesn't matter. It would make sense, though. Electricity flowing through his body and coming in with the speed of electric. Although, if that was the case, then electric guy would be able to very easily beat this guy, now would he? Nope, Candy Ryan Sangu was just that strong. Strange that his entire color scheme is blue, though. Blue usually means good. Despite the lack of good being shown here. Let's see. I definitely want to have some blood. Steam blood coming off of this. Get some steam coming off this blood here. Blood. Steamed. Alright, hold on. 50. Try something else here with the, with this. Nah, if we're gonna be doing that, it needs to be brighter, so let's try, not that, 80. Steam blood. Some steam coming off of this as well. It'd most likely be cooked off of the metal, right? So it'd most likely just have steam coming off the metal. Oh, and some steam here, but we'll probably make this be like 30 or something. Yes, steam coming off the heart would make sense due to its... The heart is literally being cooked right now because of the electricity. Most likely. Charred. All that stuff. Well, it doesn't really use electricity powers like you'd think, but I guess I could still have some steam coming off of him as well. Maybe not that noticeable. Maybe make this one 20 or something. Steamed flesh. That isn't smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steamed flesh we're having. Steamed flesh. Alright, anyways, there's still a little bit more that I want to do to this one. To this in particular. Whoops. Give me the flares. Now let's go, not here. I guess we could do the flares underneath. Flares. We'll do this one as vivid light. There we go. Alright. That's not gonna work. You need to be at 100, you fool. Yeah, look at that. Oh no, no, we don't want flares there. We want flares here, more likely. And some 50s as well to kind of like differentiate it all, you know? Okay. There's probably more I can do here, but for now, let's get to work on the lighting. How long have we been at this? An hour. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, light rays. I'm not entirely too sure where this is going to be, or where this lighting is going to be. It would make sense to have it coming off of Kanewai Tenungu because of the, electricity and stuff. I guess we could do that to an extent. Or we can just have moon rays. Moon ray. Or something like that. And have it be a certain shade of blue. This is where the blue is going to come into play. Most of this area here is going to be kind of reddish. Okay, alright, there's the moon rays. Now we need the moonlight. 50. Cool. Alright, let's see. Yeah, some blues here. Not too much blue, but enough blue to make this kind of bright. Particles. There's going to be more to it. The blue rays of the moon isn't really going to be like that noticeable once we put the effects in and stuff like that. Moon, whoops, flares. Yeah, I'm sure many people are going to be happy seeing this guy getting killed. And by somebody who's not even from this universe. Somebody that this guy doesn't even know. He doesn't even understand the reason as to why this is happening. As to why this random man just decided to show up when his plan was already ruined, as it was, because of another random villainous that just appeared out of nowhere. No origin whatsoever. No origin from this guy either. His plans are being foiled by literally characters who these people don't know the origins of. They can't even trace back where they are. They couldn't even get revenge even if they wanted to because they don't reside within this universe. I probably still have some light coming off of you, though. Blue and red. Showcasing all of what do you call it? I don't know. Alright, over here, you got there's shadow rays coming in. He looks confused. Question is he hunched over doing this? He's like, I don't know. I feel like I should put the hand underneath that layer. Like, the more I look at it, the more it doesn't make sense, because it looks like he's doing this. But then you won't be able to see the hands. But at the same time, it's best that we try to make it look good and accurate. So, arm. Suit. Okay, this is actually easier than you think. We'll make sure that stays above there. Yep, see, the fingers are slowly disappearing now. To an extent, some of them don't matter. To an extent. Then there's the nails, which I have no clue where the hell that is. There it is. I guess, technically speaking, where that is doesn't really matter, but I'm still going to move it down anyways underneath the suit. Like I've said before, it doesn't matter. Oops. That matters, though. Don't freaking mess with that. I think that's all in that department? Yeah. Okay, back to shadow raying up this place. Cool, great, fantastic. Might have went a bit too far in this direction. Yeah, easy enough to fix. You can barely even see it from afar, though, so what I should do for you, glow. I'm going to use just some random color for this. I'm not really need to do anything more. Vivid lighting. I mean, that does show a little bit more of it, and also shows the eyebrow also colored in. Unless I want to do like pen lighting. No. No, we don't want to show it like that. Yeah, okay. Shadow Rays 1C. There's probably not going to be too much in this department. I mean, there's at least a few things I can think of here. This part. Maybe the tub as well. No, don't Shadow Ray this up, you fool. You fool! Don't Shadow Ray the wrong things, you're just going to cause a mess. You almost did it again. Okay, alright, let's see now. There's still more light rays that can be made here. For instance, we could do some light rays with this. Kind of have it go in this direction. Make it look like he just rammed himself into his chest. Kind of. I'm not going to have any flares or particles for this one. For obvious reasons. Oh, but I can have this go over this so that it's not completely under it. You'll see what I mean. No, that's normal. Go to overlay, you fool. Oh, we should have some coming out of here as well. Yeah, of course. How could I forget? This side also kind of matters, because it's where most of the light will be showing. Some blue going into the red. Not all the way, but you know. Hard to not get blood on you when you're beating the ever-living crap out of a villain. Okay. Let's get some orange areas in here. Ugh. Let's switch on over to the effects. Whoops. You couldn't see it, but I accidentally brushed on the exterior page. There we go. That's the shade of orange that I want. For that, at least. For the fires. Now let's get some yellow in here as well to mix in well with the fire. What yellow, though? This one? Just the center. We don't want to fill in too much. Okay, now we want to get some teal areas in here. We're definitely going to want to have some reds. Where do we want the teal? Do we want teal to be like over here or something? Cover most of this. Some of this as well. Some of this. Some of the skies as well, because the skies technically need to kind of be teal. Maybe a little bit less shaded here. Although that does actually work perfectly. Yeah, we'll leave some of it there at least. Purple area to cover up most of the sky color, the midnight sky. Although, isn't it like close to being like sunrise at this point? I think it is. Unless the moon's behind. We could have the moon behind as well. Doesn't really exactly matter where the moon is, and even so, I don't know where the hell I'd put it without it kind of looking like, you know, it's out of place, you know? Okay, now for some red area. Put some red area here amongst the on fire city. It wasn't on fire before when with you know, the fight with All Might and All for One, but it is now. Yeah, look at that red being spewed out. Yeah. Yeah, that's badass. Let's see if we can get another... Or we can do some brown areas here. How about this shade? Too dark. How about this shade? How about this one? Is that too dark? Do we want to be dark blue? Dark blue could work. Oh yeah, dark blue does work. And then we have more here covering up most of this to have most of it be darker. And cover up as much as we can in this department to have this be more bluer, but still keep the red there so it looks like this entire place is on fire. So we'll call that a dark blue area instead. All right, and maybe we can get some purple in here as well. Use a more darker shade of purple. Maybe not all of it though. Some of it, like the debris, definitely. The sky, maybe. Seems like it. Yeah, actually, yeah, the sky. And that should be that for that department. And now for the sepia. Time to finish this all off. Now the question is, what kind of color do we want to go for here? Do I want to go for a nice red? Well, the red does make the fire more prominent. But what if I go for blue? Blue could work. I just gotta find the right shade. The right shade of blue. Now that's teal we're going for. What is blue? What is blue? Oh, it actually looks pretty cool. What is blue? Kitty, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Yep. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Somewhat bright, but still keeps some of the edges dark. And there we go. Awesome. Great. Fantastic. Now let me see what happens with the light. Okay, some of it's bright, so we'll leave it there, I guess. Maybe we can get rid of some of it. There we go. How's that look? Cool. Great. Fantastic. Yes. There it is. In the right Tenengu. Beating the ever-living crap out of all for one, and punching his heart out. Preventing one villain in the world from causing more havoc. Also making sure that Ragdoll stays more safe than she was before, with Luna overlooking. But there it is, folks. There it is. I wonder how YouTube is going to react to a drawing of an anime villain getting his heart punched out. So with effects, without effects, with effects, without effects, with effects, without effects. Get the point. There we go, folks. This is nice. I've been waiting to do this for so long. And now it's finally coming to fruition. Fruition, whatever the word is. Don't give me that look, cat. Finally, I get to see King Tenengu kill all for one. So, there you have it, folks. There we go. So, that's all for today's art time, folks. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more content, and of course, check out that there playlist. See the other drawings we've done. So, that was a pretty short one, but in short, still pretty good. Anyways, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.